Well, today we're going to look at the smallest creatures that help us on Earth. I think we talked about how insects pollinate and they're food for other animals, because if there were no insects, there'd be no baby birds, because baby birds have to be fed insects. So this is my backyard insect box. Now all of these insects are not alive anymore, and they've been in this box for probably 25 to 30 years. What happens is, the outer part of an insect that you see is called its exoskeleton, which just means outside skeleton. Our skeleton is on the inside. So once the insect dies, usually insects only live for about 1 year. There's some that can go longer and some that go very short, like midges and some mosquitoes. They go very, very fast. They don't even live 2 to 3 weeks. But these are things that had died, left their skeleton behind, their exoskeleton, their outside skeleton, and I put them in a box and labeled it my backyard bugs. So if you do find one that's not moving anymore, and then that's the skeleton, and you could put it in a box and keep it for yourself. Now, we're going to see what makes an insect an insect. An insect has to have 3 body parts: a head, a thorax, and an abdomen, like your belly. It has to have 6 legs and those 3 body parts, and it has to have the exoskeleton. And one other thing it has to have is something called compound eyes. Now, what that means is their eyes are very large. I don't know if you could see it, but these great big eyes have little blocks in them, like little lenses. Compound means like many. And we have 1 lens in each eye. An insect has many. He can see all the way around his head, or she can. Now, compound eyes are sort of like this. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on the camera, but there's a whole bunch of little blocks on this. And if you could see it, you're going to see more than one of me. So that's how it works. So when an insect's looking at you, it's going like, whoa, there's a million of that person or whatever. Now, if I was an insect, my eyes would have to be this big. I used some math, and I figured it out. But that's how big my eyes would be. So, insects are really keen. Now, insects breathe, and they breathe through their sides. Their oxygen goes in and out, and it's called spiracles. So we breathe, our sides go in and out, but we actually breathe through our nose and mouth. So they see, they breathe, and when they taste with their feet. So when an insect like this little black beetle, this is a darkling beetle, she, or he, I think it's a she, she's tasting me right now. She's touching me with her feet. She's smelling me with her antenna. And she's hearing me through her back legs. That's where their ears are. So the ears are in the back legs. They smell you through the antenna, and they taste you with their feet. She's really investigating me there. Now, I have mealworms that I feed some of my creatures, and that's why I have this one that grew up into a nice mother darkling beetle. You can find these outside. Oops, you don't want to go back in now. Come on, just go back in there, honey. Okay, get in there. Don't give me trouble, woman. There, she's in. Okay, so that's the parts of an insect. Now let's see some other insects that I have put into boxes that had the end of their lives, and Miss Verna collected them up. This is one of our large butterflies, and it's called it's a moth, a Cecropia moth. And I don't know if you can catch these. There's little eggs there. This moth laid its eggs in my friend's garage and all over a bush she had saved in there over winter. And then the little caterpillars hatched out. This is the cocoon. Now if it's a moth, it makes a cocoon. If it's a butterfly, it makes a chrysalis. So this is our Cecropia moth. We have Luna moths too. They're bigger and they're very beautiful. So we have lots of beautiful things to look at when we're taking a nature walk. Sometimes people don't know the difference between a moth and a butterfly. Now there's different ways to look, but the easiest way is the butterfly, which is the yellow one, has straight antennas. The moth has fuzzy antennas. Butterflies are active during the daylight hours. Moths are mostly active at night. There are some moths in the day, but they are at night. Butterfly antennae are straight, and the moth antennas are fuzzy. So that's the differences between them. So you can watch what's on a flower and see if it's a butterfly or a moth. Now, some insects like to hide, so this is good camouflage. These are called dead leaf butterflies, and they pretend they're a leaf. You can see this one's folded over, and this is their outside, and this is their bottom, and when it's folded over there, it looks like a dead leaf. So they could hide. They're camouflaging. So insects don't want to be found because they have, again, jobs to do. Another way of hiding is blending in. This is a walking leaf. Now, I don't know if you could see him because he's a pretty good hider, but he's right there. He looks a little greener than the rest of the stuff. Right there. It's called a walking leaf. So sometimes you might see some insects that blend in that good that you think it's just a leaf there. Some like to mimic. Mimic means like pretend that there's someone else or do the same thing you do. This is our monarch butterfly. So if you want monarchs to come to your house, plant some of that milkweed that we looked at when we were looking at seeds. And the other smaller one is called Viceroy. The Viceroy is smaller, but when a bird sees it, it remembers when it ate a monarch that it like burned its tongue and it was not going to want to have it again. So he will leave the Viceroy alone because it's mimicking the monarch. Some have things called eye spots. Eye spots right here. This one to me looks like an owl. So when it notices that there's a bird in view, it holds its wings still and sort of flies on the wind. And then when the bird looks down, it thinks that it's an owl looking up, and it leaves it alone. So the eye spots work really good for scaring away a predator. Just like the eye spots on the feathers of a peacock. When they put it up sometimes and they go and shake it, then the predator thinks that there's a whole bunch of them and not just one. We have a really good insect that comes around. Sometimes people get afraid of it. This is a praying mantis. She's been in this box since 1993. And she was on my front porch, and into the wintertime almost, and she laid an egg case, and that's this brown thing right there. That's her egg case. And then in the springtime, I noticed all the baby praying mantises crawling all over our wood pile. So they went off to do their work. These praying mantises eat pests, insects that could cause damage. So you see how they're working. They all got some kind of little job going on. I brought another living insect here. Now, most people don't like this one, but this one's from Africa. It's called a Madagascar hissing cockroach. And come here, you little stinker. Here we go. There he is. Can you see him there, Mr. McGinley? He's got long antennas, and he's got 6 legs and 3 body parts. Looks like he has little horns there. That's one of the ways that I can tell that it's a male. And his job is, he just eats anything. He gets into anything. But in Africa, where they come from, they only break down leaves and wood. They don't really go into the people's homes and like the cockroaches we have here. If the people are walking and they need a snack, they break open a rotting log and find one of these, pull the legs off, and they eat it. Inside there's this cream stuff. So I haven't tasted it, but I don't know if I want to. But anyway, that's what some people use insects for food, and they're very important. Where did I put the box? Okay, it's down here. Now, I like millipedes. And these are 2 millipedes. They're around here. Milli means 1,000, and pede or pede means feet. They don't have 1,000 feet, but you could count them if you can count each one of these little stripes on their back. Then you take that times the number 4, you would be able to know how many legs that it had, because they're called an arthropod, and an arthropod has 4 legs to each segment or line on the body. Pretty fast, aren't they? Very busy, very busy. Right now, a lot of them are coming out, and birds are having a grand time eating them. We saw a robin taking one not too many days ago and having a field day with it. Now, something that people get very afraid of, and that's spiders. This is a typical garden spider we may see here in Pennsylvania. Pretty big. It's not out to hurt you, but it sure takes care of the garden things. Now, this one, this is a rose-haired tarantula. And I've had her probably almost 20 years now. And when she grows, she sheds just like a snake, and just like we do. Our skin sheds all the time. I'll put her down on the paper. You can maybe see her a little better. She has 8 legs, 2 body parts, and in the front she has, it looks like she has 2 extra legs, but they are called pedipalps. Let me see if I can turn her. This one happens to have 8 eyes. Some of them have 4, and some have 6. But this rose hair has 8 eyes. Can you see the 2 extra ones here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's the pedipalps. And they shed, not real often, but I do have a shed from not too long ago. They do have fangs. Now, this is the shed that came off. There's nothing in it. But If you want to see the fangs, I don't know if you can get this, but there are those red things that are sticking up there. Those are the fangs. If you handle a spider, you have to not be nervous or afraid because, again, they taste with their feet. And if you're nervous, your pores give off a scent which would say, better get out of the way. The largest of the beetles in the world is this. This is a Goliath beetle. This is a paperweight that somebody gave me, but look at the size of that. I don't think too many people would want to meet that except for me. I would like to meet him because I think he's great looking. But there's all different kinds of beetles, and everything grows up. I want to show you how some of the things grow up. The egg is in the red, and then you could see how it gets bigger and bigger, and finally it's an adult. These are called lubber grasshoppers. And down here, this is a, oh, I just forgot what the name of it was. Oh, a sphinx moth. I remembered it. A sphinx moth. Sphinx moth gets mistaken a lot of times for a hummingbird because its wings go so fast. But it's not. And you can see it going from its different stages there too. Caterpillar. So, everything grows up. Everything has a purpose. So when you're outside, check out some bugs. Don't pick them up unless you know what they are. If you just want to look at them, go out with a magnifying glass or a little box and see if you can get them in there, and then bring them in the house. Or better do it on the porch so you don't get in trouble by getting one loose in the house. But you have a good time. Go on a backyard exploration and see what's under the rocks and see what's climbing on the leaves. I'll see you the next time.